How was it growing up in Brazil? How was your childhood like?
My childhood, I consider a normal one. I was born in the south of Brazil, and it was a small city. I could go ride my bike, spend time with my friends in the street. And when I was 17, I moved to Rio. That's when I started to experience a big city and the dangers of a big city bring with.
From your childhood to the moment you decided to come to Canada, was it ever hard?
I can tell it was hard. Until 17 years old, I had a lot of fun. But after that, I start to feel a bit like I think I lost a little bit of my freedom because of the environment. I was growing after 17, although I married with 20 years old. I just think that things were different than was when I was living in the south and in the small city.
Have you ever felt foreign in Rio?
I have felt foreign all my life because my parents, they were from Rio. And I have the Rio accent, not 100% Rio accent, not 100% Paraná accent. So I was always treated as a foreign person, even though I was in the city I was born. And then I moved to Rio and I was not 100% from Rio, and I was again treated as foreign. So when I arrived here, before it was the least problem I had at all.
Have you ever danced, sing, painted? Do you have any hobbies?
As a child, until 17 actually, I used to play volleyball. But my singing experience came later, singing on the church, but I was never considered a singer. I just sing in the shower now. It's my most regular singing time right now.
What do you do in the shower?
Oh!
Do you still sing?
Only with my husband at home, with my friends, nothing professional.
You're in Canada. Natalie, have you found what you looked for?
I found, because I was searching for peace, I was searching for freedom to be able to walk 10 p.m., 11 p.m. With my kids in the street and don't be afraid to use my phone and don't be afraid to drive, go and come from my job and from my friend's house. I think I found what I was searching for sure.
Do you remember when was the first moment that you thought about leaving Brazil?
Yeah, I remember like was yesterday. I was cooking and I let the pan cover fall on the floor, and my daughter, she was 8 years old, she just make a joke like she said, "Oh, it's a gunshot around the neighborhood." So how come you can make jokes of gunshots that cannot be something that's normal in your life? You need to be scared all the time when you hear gunshots. And the fact that I noticed that moment that a lot of people normalize certain things that for me was not to be normalized at all.
Was Canada your first option?
Actually, no. Funny story. I have Italian heritage, and I just think about twice and trying to figure it out about my Italian family. But I quit the idea very fast, and I started to search about immigration processes, and I just step on Canada and the Canadian processes, and I decided to live here. That's the place I should be. I felt this in my heart.
About the legal process, what was the hardest part?
I think still being the language. It's hard to get there. Funny story, when I was here for 6 months, I was feeling like my English was not improving and I was forgetting Portuguese. So, oh my God, I'm not going to be able to speak at all in my life in the future. And hopefully after that, my English got better, although you will never be perfect, I know that. But that make a lot of difference. So the following 2 years, I think I reached the level I was like able to go forward to my goals, to search for my goals, to reach my goals.
Of material belongings, which one was the hardest to leave behind? Not the people, the material belongings.
It's hard. I was married for about 15 years when I came to Canada, and we have conquested material like a apartment, a car, and it was hard to leave behind. We just reduce all your life in three luggages and 5 boxes, and that's all you bring with you. And some people don't even bring everything we brought. So it's hard. There is nothing in something specific, but I just noticed how many things I had when I need to get rid of, and it was not easy for sure.
And the people, who was the hardest to leave behind?
My mom, I think. Yeah. My siblings, my family in general. I think my mom is the most important in this case.
And of the taste, the smells, the colors of Brazil, which one do you miss the most?
No, that's hard. I think the fact that I enjoy the weather here, the fact that we have different seasons. But I think sometimes when it's too white during the winter, I feel like I need a little bit more green. And in Brazil, we have greenish all year long. And I think it's the only thing. I don't like the weather, the hot weather. I don't know. It's hard.
Have you ever doubted your choice?
No, never, ever.
How has Canada changed you?
I think I think changed the fact that I believe myself more. It's not an easy process. If you don't believe in yourself, you are going to give up very fast. And I was very resilient. I think this is my signature. I'm always adapting, and I think this is something that's going to be with me forever. Because the process, the immigration process taught me that everything's possible once you go forward.
Have you ever what have you conquered here that you might have never conquered in your country?
Oh, that's funny. The first thing I bought when I was able to was a piano, even though I don't play it yet. I bought one because I always want to have one, and in Brazil for me it was something that was not priority, and I don't need to put in my priority list here. I just can't afford it. It's easier.
From your initial plan to today, was there any misconceptions about Canada?
Misconceptions? Nothing that I can think about it right now.
And lastly, but not leastly, is Canada worth it?
For me, for sure.
So, Sankit, how was it growing up in India? What was your childhood like?
I born in Mumbai, which is a big city in India. My childhood was good, but the only thing is that like my parents, especially my father, he was having so much expectation towards me, like study hard, become engineer, get a good job. But otherwise, as a childhood, yeah, it was good. Like with my parents and with my grandparents, it was a very good moment with them, all of them. Yes.
From your childhood to the moment you decided to come to Canada, was it ever hard?
Actually, like Canada was not my priority. I just wanted to go out of my city. First I went to Germany, and in Germany I spent 2 years. Because of the language, I decided to move to London, and in London I was doing good. I was having a good job and everything. But the thing is that the government changed the visa rules. So I came back to India. I started my family with my wife, my son, and that moment I realized that I want to do something new in some other countries, and that time Canada was the option. So I decided to go Canada that time.
Have you ever had any hobbies while in India, like singing, dancing, painting?
I like to entertain the people. If the people are happy, I'm happy. That was my thing. Either it's my family member, my friends. My hobby was the sports like cricket. But yeah, dancing was the part of that, yes.
Do you still dance here?
I do a lot of party over here. Yeah. So if there are any small kind of events, like I would like to gather the people around me, and especially here, like the with the multicultural people, like people from Brazil, Mexico, other Latin American countries, people from Europe. They have their music, they have their culture. So it's good to be with them. Yeah.
Have you found what you're looking for?
Not yet, to be very honest. First, when we came over here, that I don't know what I want to do, because in India I was having a very small business. Here I thought that I can start the business, but things change. So I'm not satisfied what I'm doing right now.
Do you remember what was the first moment when you first thought about leaving India?
I want to stay out of India, not because I had a problem in India or there is some issues with the city or country, but it was my dream that I need to settle down outside where my wife was not, because she was loving my country a lot. We decided to come over here, like, yeah.
Well, why Canada?
Whenever I decide about the Canada, I thought that Canada having amazing opportunities for those people who are having a age, education and work experience, and based on that, Canada is giving permanent residence opportunity when I'm comparing with the Europe and other countries like UK and Australia. So that was all the reason I decided to, we just thought that, okay, let's try for the PR, and if it is work out, then Canada would be a great country for us, and especially when you are having a kid in Canada.
About the legal process, what was the hardest part to get the permanent residency, the immigration part?
We did everything by ourselves. At that time, everything was online, and I checked everything. And according to me, the process was very easy. But to finding all the documents, it was difficult for us. So it took a lot of time. We have our bachelor and master's degree, and we had our work experience. But the thing is that Canadian government want that time we need to make a special letter from our companies, and we already left those jobs. It was difficult for us to go again to that company and ask them, hey, we want this kind of letter and documentation for our PR process. That was the difficult part. In my experience, the process was not that much difficult, apart from the collecting the few documents.
Apart from the people, okay, not thinking about the people, but the belongings or the tastes, the smells, the colors of India, which one do you miss the most?
India is a very diverse country. I still remember that, when I was a child, in every event, every occasion, my family was there. So many festivals. There are like 25, 30 festivals. I was missing those things, especially here. Sometimes, yes, to be honest, I feel very lonely. Yes, there are good friends, but the way you meet like 100 people over there, and it's here very less people. But yeah, this is life. Life goes on. So missing my family a lot, yeah, especially. That's the only thing.
Have you ever doubted your...
Not at all, because Canada gave, especially to my wife, a good opportunity in terms of her career. I am very happy with her. We upgraded our lifestyle in Canada compared to India. And now I'm seeing my son in the school with the multicultural people. I am so much happy for him as well. Not regretting at all. Yeah, I love Canada. We love Canada.
How has Canada changed you?
Canada changed us a lot in terms of, because the thing is that people in my country now see us on a very different level. Not level in terms of we upgraded our lifestyle, but the thing is that they notice that we have changed a lot in our lifestyle. People are thinking we are changed, but we are not. We are the same people we are 10 or 15 years ago, not changed at all.
From your initial plan back in India, when you were still planning to come to Canada, to today, were there any misconceptions about Canada?
Misconception about Canada, not the misconception, but yes, yeah, obviously we heard that it's too cold. It's difficult for us to survive like 1 or 2 years because of the weather, because country which I came is the tropical weather. So yeah, in terms of weather, people are here is very interactive people. I found that, and this is my personal experience. I don't know about other people experience what they find out, but we did the struggle in first 3 to 4 months to finding a job to survive yourself for first 5 to 6 months, but everything will be fine later. But we thought that let's try. Yes, let's try it.
And last but not
As I'm a traveler as well, so my goal was to travel all around the world. Canada gives us that financial stability. We became a Canadian like 2 years ago, and we are very happy that we can go anywhere without visas. We are happy that we are a part of this community and part of this country. Yes, there are few challenges over here, but it's the challenges everywhere. And yes, it's true that Canada gives you that stability in your life. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you.
action. Karen, how was it growing up in Mexico? Was your childhood like?
It was a little hard. It was, I was a shy little girl that barely spoke, so it was a little difficult.
Or was your childhood happy?
I suffer a lot of bullying.
From your childhood to the moment that you decided to come to Canada, was it ever a hard life?
No, I actually didn't decide to come to Canada. It was destiny.
Was your life hard at the time, or was it just normal?
It was not hard, but not happy, not perfect.
Did you ever have any hobbies at the time, like singing, dancing, painting?
I was just a little child.
Have you ever found what you were looking for?
I wasn't looking for anything. Actually, I came because my mom came to Canada to study English. And after living here for 6 months, we just begged her to stay.
Do you remember what was that moment that she told you, like, oh, we're moving to Canada?
Yes, I remember when she said, oh, we're going for 1 year to study in Canada. And I was so happy because I was going to try a new life.
So Canada was not your option?
As we didn't choose it, it was just the only option.
Why Canada for your mom?
Because my mom was working as a travel agent. So she was selling trips to Canada to study English. And she thought, well, we don't speak English. We should go to Canada and experience that so we can sell it better.
About the legal process now, what was the hardest part? Great. What was the hardest part?
It wasn't. It was just like destiny. We were supposed to be here.
Speaking of material belongings, which belongings were the hardest to leave behind?
We didn't have any problem with that. Just wanted to be here.
What about people?
Yeah, my family, my grandmother, my cousins, they were really hard. It was very hard to spend Christmas and the holidays without them.
Of all the tastes, smells, colors of Mexico, which one do you miss the most?
The food, the spice, the tacos, the music, the people, culture.
Have you ever doubted this choice?
Yes. Many times I've looked back and I said, what would my life be if I stay in Mexico?
How has Canada changed you?
In every possible way. Since I was very shy when I was in Mexico, I wasn't speaking. And I came here, I got a new life, I got new friends. Everything was like more open. I got to experience many things that would never experience when I'm in Mexico.
What have you conquered here that you think you might never have conquered in?
Well, I conquered my freedom. Being who I am, dressing the way I want, just being me.
From your initial plan till today, was there any misconceptions about Canada?
Yes, that it's easy, that we get paid in dollars, that it's cheap, that just because we live in Canada we have lots of money. Those are misconceptions.
last but not least, is Canada worth it?
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you so much.